Gemini gang, welcome to my channel, Tarot by the Intuitive Teacup. That's me. We're going to read your tarot cards here today. This will be a general reading for Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. Anyone, of course, is welcome into this reading. I just ask you come with an open heart and an open mind and a desire to better yourself. And as you know, you are accountable and responsible for all your own actions and decisions. This is optional advice or guidance. So best take away the messages that resonate, motivate, empower, inspire you. If you're not feeling that way, feel free to release the messages. Assume they're going out to someone else. But it might just make sense for you in the future too. So always be open to that. Let's do it, Gemini. Let's read your tarot cards here. As I shuffle and pull from the deck here, I just wanted to let you know right before I started your reading, I was hearing that song Hey Jealousy by the Gin Blossoms, which actually has kind of like some really beautiful lyrics. So I encourage you to go listen to that and interpret it for yourself. I think it's from like the early 90s, the Gin Blossoms, Hey Jealousy. But I think a lot of it has to do with reminiscing about the past. And there's some line about, if I hadn't blown the whole thing years ago, we might not be alone or something. And you know, it might not be that bad that you were the best I ever had. I feel like there's someone who's looking back and regretting how they treated you or regretting that they left you. And this could be you too. You might be doing that about someone. I do feel like this is something that maybe happened years ago. Like, I don't know if you're fresh off the person. I don't know. You know, up to you to interpret. Really encourage you guys to go listen to that because something may come to you. And you may know exactly what that is, but, you know, for all I know, you saw the Gin Blossoms live with that person. I don't know. I haven't heard that song in ages, but it's called Hey Jealousy. So, I don't know. Is your ex getting married? Is it something like that? I'm honestly not sure. And I don't even know if that's going to come up in your reading. That just may have been something entirely off the cuff. All right. Always the Two of Wands. That card comes up all the time in my readings. Earned success, the Six of Swords. What are you moving towards? Well, I would say it's going to be successful. It might be something with another Gemini or an Aquarius. There may be a newfound recognition of your freedom and your independence, especially freedom of thought. The ability to think the things that you think are true and not necessarily feel swayed or pulled against them from any sort of external party. I don't always get this, but in this specific reading, I am getting the idea of sticking to your guns and not necessarily feeling like you have to over-explain yourself or come up with, I don't know, with substantial evidence for something that you're just feeling. It's like this intuitive, I know this is right. And sometimes those things sort of defy logic, or they become less powerful when someone asks you to explain the why or the reasons. There's something about, I'm hearing the word like floating on intuition, moving forward with something that's very intuitive. And that can be sometimes tremendously difficult for Geminis who are, you know, you're ruled, if you resonate with Gemini as your sun or moon, a lot of that comes with information and logic and facts and data and details. And it's not necessarily that you have to have all. Frequently, Geminis can thrive off of a little bit of everything, you know? What is that expression I always associate? I have a lot of placements in Gemini, and this isn't a negative thing. It's something that always makes sense to me about Geminis. The idea of master of none, but what is that? Jack of all trades, master of none? Absolutely the jack of all trades. Geminis can get by on very little information and kind of find their footing within that. You guys have the reputation of being a chameleon. And not necessarily having to have the whole picture and the whole concepts, having just a little bit to go off of. Geminis tend to thrive in that, the mutable air sign, right? And that's what I mean. I don't mean to insult by saying master of none, but something about that phrase is coming through, and I'm being told to hammer it home. I see you having a conversation with a family member, and you're having to just really look them in the eye and just have this trust me. Like, we're not having a conversation about this anymore. This is what we're doing, and I know it in my heart to be true. And so more or less, I think what you're asking of them is please just have faith in me. Like, I see something about this, and again, it's like they're wanting to play devil's advocate or over explain something to you to get you to think in a different way. And I have to say, you know, you are responsible for what you're about to do, but there's something, it's just like you have this clarity and you can't really explain why. It's intuitive, and you're asking someone to have faith in you or to go along with this. because you're feeling inspired or you've heard a calling to do something, and it's really eating at you not having their faith or not having their full, I don't know if it's permission, or I really think it's believing in you. It's eating away that they're not fully on board with this idea, but I think you're being asked to move forward with it anyway, mainly for the reason of, well, what if you don't go after this? What is there to be lost or gained by you saying, okay, you're probably right, I'm not going to do it? I just feel like there's something here where it's like, you know, you're supposed to go after this, so maybe this is a time to really feel comfortable in your own opinions and to not be swayed by the judge or by the jury. It's like you just feel it. that idea of the judge or the jury, you know, maybe some of you are working in a courtroom or something about a legal case may come through for some of you guys. But I do think in the greater metaphor of that, it's like, where are you needing people's permission, or where are you, in what ways does having other people's admiration and respect or belief in you contribute to your own security and safety? I think with this kind of Aquarian vibe coming through, there's a really big importance placed on individuality and freedom of like conformity and needing to do what everybody has done, and establishing yourself as being the alien, being the different one. There's nothing wrong with that, but I think there's an element here of you find comfort in conformity or being one of the many, whereas when you're singled out, this might be a new role for you, or this might be a new feeling, but it doesn't mean it's wrong. It just means it's a change. It's different. It's unfamiliar, but you're being asked to go on your hunch. That just keeps coming through here, Gemini. Whew, that was a bit of a heady message. I feel like I'm lost in whatever this is, and hold on. Let me see what else I can get for you. Something about this may involve a Leo. Something about a jungle cat I'm hearing. I'm seeing like panthers through the jungle or something. I don't know what that is. Metaphors, I'm sure, but... I think some of my Geminis may feel that in the past they were dissuaded, is that the word? Or talked out of something that they really wanted to move forward on, but you played it safe, possibly to please those around you, or because you really let the idea of other people's ideas impact your own feelings and thoughts on something you wanted to go off of. It could have been some sort of creative project or something. I just keep wanting to say it was very different, or it goes against the grain, it goes against the tradition of what the business has always done or what the family has always practiced. And I think you look back and you regret that you didn't go after this idea that found its origins from inside of you. It's something your heart was calling you to do. And you let people talk you out of it. And it's not that I'm bringing that up to make you feel guilty or shame about it, because I sense that you guys already feel that. It's about recognizing a pattern and stopping it if it's not a healthy pattern or a healthy thing that you've come to repeat in your life. And more or less what this is saying to me is you got a second chance here. It's not game over. It's not the opportunity you missed out on. I would say that was a very important lesson, that it may have just been for the purpose of you holding on to the memory of that time you let someone talk you out of something you really wanted. And so because you have that remaining or lasting memory, when something else comes along and you feel that similar or same calling to, ooh, this could be good, I'm intrigued, I'm interested, I'm curious, that's a big word here, to find out more, don't let someone talk you out of it this time, because you've already felt the consequences, you know, what it feels like to have missed out on something, or at minimum, just the idea of not feeding that curiosity and having this lingering, gosh, what if I had gone after it though? Like, what could have been? It is a lot of living in the past. The shoulda, coulda, wouldas. You absolutely have that coming through here. And it's not about giving that more power. It's not putting up on a pedestal what was missed out on. It's understanding, okay, got it. The universe is telling me that was important because this opportunity or the situation is going to repeat itself, and I have to act differently this time. I have to change the way I go after this. I have to change my positioning. I have to change my, yes, absolutely. King of Swords, again, more Aquarian, freedom of thought. I have to change my, I'm hearing predilection. I don't think that's the right word though. I have to change my, I'm hearing predilection. I don't think that's the right word though. I have to change my, I'm hearing predilection. I don't think that's the right word though. I have to change my, I'm hearing predilection. I don't think that's the right word though. I have to change my, I'm hearing predilection. I don't think that's the right word though. it's like I have to change my natural tendency to give the people what they want, or again, to not stand out among the rest, to conform, or to go along with, to be easygoing. It could be as simple as that. That's what got you into trouble the first time. So I almost get a lot of you're going to do a 180. You may even be more disobedient. I'm hearing crazy words like bombastic. You're going to be even more like defiant. That's a good word for it. Because I think there's a lot of resentment of things you didn't do before when you felt like you should have. So you're completely rewriting this or taking this in a completely new path, a new trajectory. And it might be a new opportunity. It's not to say this is a repeat of something that already happened. For some of you, it absolutely is. For others of you, it's just, again, that memory of the time you didn't do it because someone said no or someone talked you out of it. You will not be talked out of it this time. And there's going to be a moment where you question yourself. This is about building up confidence and losing this sort of lacking self-confidence or this self-doubt that really does keep you safe, but it keeps you stuck from not exploring things that give you the sense of life and vitality and inspiration. Why wouldn't you go after that? And I think you have to judge for yourself, well, what is to be lost and what is to be gained here? If the pros far outweigh the cons, then there's your answer, right? Some of you may need to leave home or establish a greater distance in a relationship, or even symbolically venture into new territory, venturing into the unknown or the unfamiliar, knowing that you will find your footing. I mean, you made it this far, Gemini. You're doing something right. This person headed towards. You have a lot of sevens. Sevens are all about assessment. There's a repeated message here about moving away from like the earthly, tangible possessions, material goods, money. It could just be concerns about money. And it's not to say that isn't important. Of course, money is important, but I think you're leaning too heavily into the financial risk of this. But because of that, you're not seeing the full vision. You immediately jump to, oh, well, it's not financially savvy, so I'm not going to do it. And again, that's your right. That's your prerogative. You can do whatever you want to do. But if you've been going at this for a long time and you're stuck or not seeing any results, it's because you're too fixated on the material. This card is called Success Unfulfilled. So feeling like you're giving it your all and just not seeing the results, you have to change up the ingredients. You have to do something different, and I can tell you it comes from something emotional or intuitive or creative. Tapping into sort of the more spiritual side of this, even if you're a financial advisor. You're being asked to look at something a little bit more soulful. Injecting or introducing something into this that isn't necessarily by the book and the foundation and the way it's always been done. There's creative ideas, there's untapped potential around you, but you keep diminishing them as, oh, that's silly, that's not important, that's not the answer. That's exactly where the answer resides. Illusionary success. Yeah, something may come to you in a dream or something that I just keep, you're leaning way too into the logical brain, not the muse, the inspired, the creative side of this. That if you're again trying at it again and again and nothing is shifting or changing, that's your answer. You need to lean into this more Seven of Cups energy, because the Seven of Pentacles is not yielding the results you want. It's not saying it's wrong. It's not saying you need to abandon it, but you need to add more to it that's a little bit more fluffy. I know that sounds weird, but it's too serious. It's too strained. It's like you're looking at the seed in the ground like, why won't you grow? Because you're not giving it any water. You're not giving it any light. You're not speaking to it like it's your child. You're not nourishing it or nurturing it in a way where it wants to grow. A lot of you, I know this sounds like nothing, but it's like your attitude is very nervous. You're projecting this like pessimistic attitude or this just a nervous energy around what you're trying to get to grow. And so, these seeds, they are life. They represent life. So if you're worried that, oh my God, why isn't it growing? They're taking that energy of, oh my God, why am I not growing? You have to look at it in terms of like an energy exchange. You have to love it. You have to tell it it's beautiful. You have to tell yourself that you love yourself and that you're beautiful. I don't know what this has to do with the whole day jealousy thing. I don't know. I hope some of you know already. Yeah, this is a new chance. This is a new opportunity, but there's a lot of reflecting of the past that comes with it and choosing to go in a different direction. Or when this opportunity presents, it's about choosing the path less traveled or the road less traveled, choosing to be different and not looking at that as like the stigma of being the other or the outsider. This is about innovation, and by doing something different, it's going to get you different results that you want. This might be a desire to not repeat something your parents went through, and yet you realize that you're starting to act that way or do it that way, and that's what I mean, there's like an opposition to, oh my God, I'm doing that thing I thought I would never do or I never wanted. And for some of you, maybe that's faded. Maybe you are meant to do it that way, but again, bring like a new youthful energy to it. Others of you see yourself falling into a pattern of behavior that you don't like, and it's something you consciously have chosen not to do, but it somehow bled in or it leaked in, and so it's like an awakening. It's like you recognize what you've been doing. You're like, okay, I have to change this. Like you're at a point where it's not do or die, but more or less there's a very extremist opposition to the status quo. You may get to blend cups with this person again. I don't even know what that means. I mean, I have an idea, but that's what I heard. You may get to blend cups with this person again. Maybe that's romantic. Maybe that's healing something in your family. This thing is going to get well again, especially in terms of like financial, being distraught over finances or worried about material gain and success. That is in the process of healing. Money is very much being relayed to me as like an energy, like a life form. And I mean, it really is. But yeah, there's a lot of like nerve or fear around money, or I don't know. You got an angel guide around you, though. You have some sort of spiritual being helping to pull you out of this. For some of you, it feels very numb. It feels like you got yourself into a situation you tried to avoid, and you're there anyway, and now you're just like, well, fuck, like, what do I do? The answers are around you, how to get out of this. And it requires action and movement. Some of you, yeah, unfamiliar territory. Some of you are going to have to move and physically put yourself in new energy and a new environment for this thing to grow and thrive. Don't ask travel advice from the person who's never left their hometown. That's what I'm hearing. The Tower in reverse. I don't hate this. My gut reaction is that the Tower in reverse is like suppressing something that needs to be unleashed or let out. And for some of you, it may come as a very, again, defiant conversation, or something that you've been holding your tongue for so long that you reach a breaking point where you're just like, enough. And it comes out like a flood. You're sitting on untapped potential, but something needs to be unleashed. And I would even argue, Mars energy, something needs to be exploded, adding heat to it in order to get it to change. It's almost like, I'm hearing like chemical reaction, but I would challenge you to look at that from like a perspective that isn't necessarily, science beakers, but something about there's nutrients in the land, or I don't even know what this says. I would say if you don't express this in a healthy, cathartic way, and again, go off your gut instincts, your truth, your spiritual quest, what you're being called to, it's gonna come out eventually because it's your path. It's your fate, it's your destiny. So maybe the timeline is up to you, maybe it's not, but eventually I think you're gonna see you're gonna see so much light and potential in this. It's like, you have to move towards it. I'm getting the idea of like yeah, absolutely, perfect. But even the imagery matches up. The idea of like a lighthouse and being lost at sea, and you're the sailor, and you're looking for any sign of, how do I get out of this? Well, the lighthouse, that little light that's been beckoning you, and maybe that's a feeling in your heart. You know it's the right move. It would be silly to not move towards it because, this sounds so extreme, but like it could save you, right? I don't think this is a matter of life and death. I think this is a matter of questioning yourself too much. And so when you're not getting the results you want, you can't blame other people. It's a lesson to not rely on their advice, their permission, their guidance, to go off of gut instinct, and you're going to learn from it. It might not be all sunshine and rainbows at first, but the more you immerse yourself in this thing, you're going to learn in the process. Princess of Wands, the page, the student of following your instincts. Cool. I like it, Gemini. A lot of you wish you had you're comparing yourselves to others, which I don't like, but you may feel like you're seeing others around you succeed and you're like questioning, why not me? First, don't compare yourself to others, but I think it's about seeking the approval when the reason why those people succeeded is because they just had this unfathomable belief in their self and they just kept trying. They didn't look at failure as failure. They looked at it as lessons, as insight, as information. Allow yourself permission to fail multiple times over because it's going to remove the stigma of what will people think of me and, the fear of judgment and criticism. Fail. Didn't I tell you this recently? I feel like I just relayed this in a message, and I may have been for Gemini. I think of Buzz Lightyear. That's not flying, that's falling. But he's, it's falling with style. Like, get comfortable in that, Fail a lot. It will teach you to be humble, but it will also, it opens up this idea of, you have to go after what's meant to you because otherwise there's going to be this fire inside of you that wants to be expressed and you're just like, not today, we can't do that. It didn't work for us once. It may not have worked for you once, but what about the next time or the next time or the next time? It's about tenacity, sticking to your guts and going after what you see truth and potential in. Anyway, let's read this card. You have seeking and finding. I mean, that already seems appropriate to me, but let's see what it says. Seeking. I thought this was going to be a romance reading, but maybe Hey Jealousy has something to do with you being jealous of friends' success. I don't know. Seeking and finding. Like a butterfly flying from a flower to Let me start over again. Are we ready? Like a butterfly flying from flower to flower, you are searching for what's next. This card reassures you that you'll find what you're looking for. Hold the vision of success, experience the excitement of the process, and feel fulfillment at everything that has already been accomplished. Keep calling upon the guidance of God and the angels that lead you to the best direction. Look within yourself to find great love and beauty. Don't draw fear onto your path by worrying about what will come. Put only love into any thoughts and feelings you have about your future. Trust that everything that is rightly yours already belongs to you spiritually. Anything you are seeking is seeking you also. Have faith and open your arms to receive. Additional meanings. Finding a lost object, reunion with a long-lost loved one, discovering your divine life purpose, meeting your soulmate, and meditation. Interesting. So there is a connection to love and romance for some of you. Anyway, I feel like I did a terrible job reading that. I'm in my Gemini energy where my brain is just like do. Can't even read words on a page. Anyway, I hope this spoke to you guys. Remember to like the video, subscribe to my channel. Let me know in the comments below if any of this resonates for you. And I will see you very soon for more tarot. Bye, Gem.